Okay, gonna show a little video on how to make ribs. I got two sets of ribs here. I got my spare ribs on the bottom, and then I got my baby backs up here. As you can see, the baby backs are a lot smaller. But one of the things I've already done, backstory, night before, you want to rub whatever spice you want on these ribs. You want to rub it down real good, put it in the refrigerator, so that it can sit overnight. It marinates it a lot better. Also, if you see on the bottom here, this white stuff, this is a white membrane. It's kind of disgusting. It's thin. Sometimes it can be difficult, but you do want to pull it off. If you don't, I mean, a lot of businesses and stuff don't, but it's a good idea to take it off of there, because it makes the meat absorb the smoke better, and it also makes you enjoy it better, because nobody wants to eat something that's thick and gristly. You just gotta fight with it a little to get a good hold of it. It's kind of slimy, but you just grab it and you peel it. You want to peel this whole thing off, and then you throw it in the trash. That's what I do. I guess you can feed it to a dog. I don't know. I wouldn't eat it, but you want to do that to your baby backs and your spare ribs. Flip these over to get to the membrane on these. This one's got a pretty good sized membrane on it. This one you're going to have to really fight with to get a hold of it. I mean, you got to have a good grip to get a good enough hold of it to peel it off. Come on now. Especially when your hands are all slimy. I do a dry rub on these ribs because that's just what I like. I just like spice. Some people put barbecue sauce on it, and that's fine. You can do that. The way I cook ribs, you don't even need sauce because they're still juicy and tender. So you don't have to do the sauce if you don't want to, but you can. I don't know. I'm really worried about the membrane over here, but we can work toward it if we want. Yeah, not that big a deal. Anyway, you peel that membrane off. You want to get it all off of there, because you want to make sure that you're not eating it. Every barbecue restaurant I went to does not peel it off, but if you go to Texas, they peel it, and that's the way you like it. If you've had it with it peeled off, you'll never want to eat it with it on there again. And then we'll put them on the smoker. Oh, by the way, you want to let them sit out for an hour before you put them on the smoker. They got to sit out to bring them up to room temperature. Makes the meat cook better. It doesn't sweat as bad. It doesn't dry out as bad either. And then basically you just go out, you prep the smoker, get it ready, get it turned on, bring it up to temperature, and then you'll take your ribs out and put them on. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we'll start with prepping the smoker. How's it going? How to with JP back here again. And we are going to show you how to get the smoker ready. One of the key things, I've posted a video on this already about checking the burner. You want to check the burner. You don't want your meat to be charred black. You want it to look nice, golden, you know, pristine. So, first thing I do now, because I've done it before, I've put it on there and just closed it up. Didn't check the burner. My meat come out, looked like a skunk. So, what you want to do is you want to get your burner running. So oh, hold on. I didn't have it in the right spot, and now I can smell propane. I have done that before where I lit it and there was a bunch of propane in the air and didn't have the thing lit right, and it almost caused an explosion. So you want to get it right down by the burner there. Okay. Now, burner, we got a nice even blue flame. That's what we want. This is kind of a homemade deal. I made this tray because I didn't like the tray that came with this smoker. But if you have a propane smoker, you can do whatever you want. And then what you do is you cut up your wood, you get it ready, you get it soaking. You want it to be nice and wet, because wet wood will smoke, dry wood will burn. So, and the whole purpose is smoking because you want it to give it a good smoke flavor. So, this is just basically my wood tray that I put all my wood in. I just set it all in there, and we'll get it going. It takes a little bit for it to smoke because it's wet, because you soaked it, but it's much better to soak the wood. I've done it the other way before, and smoke didn't last as long. It dried out. So you want the wood to be fairly wet. I soak the wood overnight. You don't necessarily have to. You can soak it for probably about 30 minutes before you're gonna smoke, but you know, the more water you can absorb in that wood, the better. You have a tray that goes in. This tray is to keep the meat moist. You can put anything you want in there. You can put water, you can put apple juice, some people put wine, different things for different things that you're going to smoke. Obviously, I don't think you'd want to put apple juice or wine or something in there if you're going to smoke ribs, because you don't want them to taste sweet. It's the same with the wood. That wood's hickory wood. I always smoke ribs with hickory because I just like hickory. I like the flavor. But if you're smoking something with cherry wood and you want to put something, you want to put some apple juice or something in there to give it more of a sweet flavor, you can do that. I just pour water in there. I got my water jug here, so I just pour water in there. That just keeps a constant steam coming up inside here. It makes it to where the meat stays nice and moist. Got my trays in there ready to go. I leave it on high for a little bit until it starts getting closer to up to temperature. I close it. Temperature that you're wanting to cook at, the best that I've found works for me is 225 degrees, which is the line right there between 200 and 250. If you can keep that meat at 225, it's going to be good. You want to keep it at 225. Cook it for about 6 hours for ribs. 6 hours is about fall off the bone. That's about where you want it to be, you know, your most tender fall off the bone ribs. I normally smoke the meat for 3 hours, and then I double wrap it in heavy duty aluminum foil. It seals all the juice in, and the ribs are a lot less dry that way. They've already absorbed 3 hours of smoke. They got plenty of smoke in them, so that's about it. I'm going to let the smoker come up to temperature and start producing some smoke, and then I'll go get my ribs and put my ribs on, and we'll see how it does. Hey, JP back here again. Smoker's been running for a little while now. It's about 175 degrees. You don't want to get it too hot or too smoky, because then you're going to have a hard time putting your meat in there. You just want to bring it up to a decent temperature so that your meat can heat up quickly, rather than it not heating up too quick. Although it has been brought up to room temperature. There'll be a little bit of smoke come out of there. I always put my baby backs on the top rack. I don't know why, I just do it that way. You just throw your meat in there. And then close it up. It's still on high. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to keep an eye on this. You'll want to come out and check it probably every 5 to 10 minutes. And you'll want to adjust the burner accordingly to where you reach your optimal 225 degrees. If you don't, if you get it too hot, the meat's going to cook too fast, it's going to dry out. If you don't get it hot enough, if you don't get it at least to 225, it's going to take forever to cook that meat. So 225 I think is pretty much optimal. I've cooked a lot of things in this smoker, and 225 has been what's worked best for me. So I'll keep checking on it, and then when I come out to wrap them, we'll go ahead and do another video, or same video, whatever. We'll just show you what it looks like when you wrap them up. I'll wrap them up in some tin foil, seal some moisture in, then I'll put them back in there for the last 3 hours of cooking, and then that's it. Then they're done, and then you got some good food to eat. Alright, it's been running a little while. Come out to check on it, see if it's smoking. You want it to put out a lot of smoke. And this thing, well, you can't really see it now because the wind's blowing. A while ago, it was smoking more than the Marlboro Man. So, I don't know. But we'll keep checking on it, see how it smokes. It's up to 200 degrees now, so pretty soon I'll start turning that knob down so I can get it shut down. But another good thing about the smoke is the smoke starts drifting over into your neighbor's yard. It makes them jealous, because then they're like, oh, I want some of that food. So anyway, we'll catch back with you later. Okay, back again, getting ready to pull these out and wrap them. Got some foil here. I just set it down on the deck, just like that. And let's open it up and see. Woo! Smoky. Oh, but they look good, don't they? Oh yeah. Nice and juicy. We're going to do the big one first. Oh, and you also have to make sure that that water stays full. So it's getting a little lower, so we'll put some more water in there. Just keep that water full. And put these gloves on. These gloves are heat resistant, so. But if you notice, the meat's real juicy. So now we're going to lock that juice in there. That way we keep it. They're basically cooked. The ribs are cooked. What we're trying to do now is seal the juices in and tenderize the meat. Because the meat is done. I mean, you could eat it, but it wouldn't be fall off the bone. It would just be cooked. So now we're tenderizing it. Double wrap this. A little warm, but not too bad. Whoops, the box up pretty good. Okay, so now we get our baby backs out. They look good. Stick a little. Smoke gets you too. They're done too. Now, as far as this goes, I mean, because you don't really need the smoke once you wrap them, you could technically, after the 3 hours, you could bring them into your house and put them in your oven and set it at 225 and just leave them in your oven for another 3 hours at 225. I will tell you, even with the foil on, though, it'll make your whole house smell like hickory smoke, so kind of up to your discretion. That's why I just leave them in the smoker, because I don't want my house smelling like smoky meat. But that's about all there is to it. You just wrap this meat up, put it back in here. Close the door, and in 3 hours you come back, you get your meat out. You'll want to let your meat sit in, I put it in an ice chest. You can put it in the oven as long as you don't turn the oven on, because you want to let the meat cool. You'll want to let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour. It actually brings the juices back to the center of the meat. So, and that's about it. And then enjoy.